Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Tower 3D Pro. Today we are playing the newest DLC, Munich International Airport, I think it's called. Yeah, we'll call it Munich International Airport. Fairly spacious airport, and also the first international airport DLC for this game. Today we'll be operating the 8s, 8 right and left, with our arrivals coming in on 8 left and our departures on 8 right. Already got one ready for pushback and one inbound, which hasn't called in yet, so we'll go ahead and give her a go. We're going to do the 8 o'clock shift. Traffic is the morning rush. We'll see if we can get her done without no incidents. Here we go. Iberia 31905. Pushback approved. Expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Iberia 31905.
Airbus 319 this morning. What we got coming in here? Adria. Go ahead and speed it up just a tad to get it going.
Tower, Adria 102 with you runway 8 left.
Adria 102, runway 8 left, clear to land. Adria 102, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land Adria 102.
Gotta say it just
Ground,
right.
Iberia 31905 ready to taxi.
Iberia 31905, runway 8 right, taxi via Charlie 4, Sierra 5, Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Charlie 4 Sierra 5 Sierra Iberia 31905.
Okay, so we're gonna have United right in after that. Adria, whatever.
Tower, United 30 with you runway 8 left.
United 30, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land United 30.
Okay, so this is pretty much the first time we've played this airport for myself as well as the channel. It looks to be interesting. I've heard that it's a fairly busy airport.
Tower,
as we're interrupted by Hazeline.
Push and start.
Hazeline 2176, pushback approved. Expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Hansa line 2176.
Go ahead and get the Iberia down to into the runway. We're gonna have a bunch of arrivals coming in. Good, good.
Tower, Dolomoti 23901 with you runway 8 left.
Dolomoti 23901, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land Dolomoti 23901.
If we can get a different view of that. There we go. Iberia 31905, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right line up and wait Iberia 31905.
Okay, so kind of quiet so far. Only have a couple on arrival and 2 on departure. So
ground, Hansa line 2176 ready to taxi.
Hansa line 2176, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra.
Tower, Turk Air 1638 requesting push and start.
Turk Air 1638, pushback approved. Expect runway 8 right.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra Hansa line 2176. Ground,
Turkish Airlines.
8 right pushback approved. Turk Air 1638.
And there's our first arrival. Got to pick up the pace. Got the United right behind them is a 7-6. Major 102, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 3.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 3 Adria 102.
Probably could put him on Alpha Niner as well.
Ground, Turk Air 1638 ready to taxi.
Turk Air 1638, runway 8 right, taxi via Charlie 4, Sierra 5, Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Charlie 4 Sierra 5 Sierra Turk Air 1638.
Tower, Lufthansa 2470 requesting push and start.
Lufthansa 2470, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right.
Adria 102, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, Alpha Niner, November 3.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 Alpha Niner November 3 Adria 102.
Got our big 7-6 United right there. Iberia 31905, wind is 6-4 at 2 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 6-4 at 2 knots, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Iberia 31905. Tower, Lufthansa 22905 with you, runway 8 left.
Lufthansa 22905, runway 8 right. No. Lufthansa 22905, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Say again. Runway 8 left, clear to land. Lufthansa 22905.
Lufthansa 2470, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3, Sierra 8, Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra Lufthansa 2470.
United 30, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, Alpha Niner, November 3.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 Alpha Niner November 3 United 30.
Okay, so Iberia's out of here. That's the wrong one. There we go. Iberia 31905, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
Here's our Dolomoti.
Tower, Hansa Line 23904 requesting push and start.
Hansa Line 23904, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Hansa Line 23904.
Dolomoti 23901, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4 Dolomoti 23901.
May have to give that command again
Tower,
just so we can get
Sun
them on the back
Express
side of
784
that
with you,
terminal.
runway 8 left.
Sun Express 784, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left, clear to land. Sun Express 784. Ground, Hansa Line 23904 ready to taxi.
Hansa Line 23904, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3, Sierra 8, Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra Hansa Line 23904.
Okay. It already got that route, so we're good to go there. United going to the back side of this terminal. Fairly spacious layout as far as terminals go too, with your two main long terminals and smaller, I guess you would call them satellite terminals next to those.
Tower, Lufthansa 2557 with you, runway 8 left.
Lufthansa 2557, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left, clear to land. Lufthansa 2557.
Tower, Hansa Line 2164 requesting push and start.
Hansa Line 2164, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Hansa Line 2164.
He'll go ahead and push back. We'll get him out of here before that Dolomoti gets to his gate. Turk Air 1638, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right, line up and wait. Turk Air 1638.
Hello. There we go. Go ahead and push back.
Tower, Hansa Line 1620 requesting push and start.
Hansa Line 1620, pushback approved. Expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Hansa Line 1620.
Hopefully he pushes back immediately so we can get him out of
Tower,
here.
Hansa Line 1647 with you, runway 8 left.
16. Hansa Line 1647, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left clear to land. Hansa Line 1647.
Ground, Hansa Line 2164 ready to taxi.
Ground, Hansa Line 1620 ready to taxi.
Hansa Line 1620, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3, Sierra 8, Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3
Hansa
Sierra
Line
8 Sierra, Hansa Line
2164,
1620.
taxi. Oh, no. Hansa Line 2164, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3, Sierra 8, Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8
Okay,
Sierra,
everybody's
Hansa
gonna
Line
get on their way
2164.
nice and neatly there. Lufthansa 22905, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4.
Yeah, we're gonna give him another one.
2295.
Tower, American 716 with you, runway 8 left.
American 716, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land, American 716.
Lufthansa 22905, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4, Delta 6.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4 Delta 6 Lufthansa 22905.
Turk Air 1638, wind is 65 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 65 at 3 knots, runway 8 right cleared for takeoff. Turk Air 1638.
Hansa Line 2176, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right, line up and wait. Hansa Line 2176.
He's rolling. Got our two Hansa lines rolling. He's lined up, he's taking off. Come on, crazy. Turk Air 1638, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
And Morgan to you too. Sun Express 784, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, Alpha 9er, November 2.
Taxi to terminal via
Oh.
Alpha 5 Alpha 9er November.
I didn't know where
November 2,
they
Sun Express
if anything,
784.
they need to tell you what gate they're actually going to so you can give them the proper call the first time. Sun Express 784, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, Alpha 9er, November 1.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 Alpha 9er November 1 Sun Express 784.
On to line 2176, wind is 65 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 65 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Hansa line 2176.
Lufthansa 2470, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Tower, United 106 with you, runway 8 left. Runway 8 right, line up and wait, Lufthansa 2470.
United 106, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left, cleared to land, United 106.
International flights coming in. Lufthansa 2557, taxi to terminal via Alpha. Forgot which one
Taxi
that was.
to terminal via Alpha 2 Lufthansa 2557.
Lufthansa 2557, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4 Lufthansa 2557.
Hansa line 2176, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
Lufthansa 2470, wind is 65 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 65 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff, Lufthansa 2470.
Hansa line 23904, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Tower, Lufthansa 2032 requesting push and start.
Runway 8 right, line up and wait, Hansa line 23904.
Got to wait to push you back there, bud. Lufthansa 2557, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4, Delta 6. What? Where'd you get Alpha 1? Lufthansa 2557, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4, Delta 6.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4 Delta 6 Lufthansa 2557. Tower, Lazahir 9er731 with you, runway 8 left.
Lazahir 9er731, runway 8 left, line up. Oh. Lazahir 9er731, runway 8 left, clear to land. Lazahir 9er731, runway 8 left, clear to land. Or not. Lufthansa 2032, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right, pushback approved. Lufthansa 2032.
Lazahir 9er731. Lazahir 9er731. Now it doesn't want to do.
Runway 8 left, cleared to land, Lazahir 9er731.
Hansa line 1647, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4, Delta 6.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4 Delta 6 Hansa line 1647.
Lufthansa 2470, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
Hansa line 23904, wind is 65 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 65 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff, Hansa line 23904.
Come on.
Ground, Lufthansa 2032 ready to taxi.
Lufthansa 2032, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3. No. Well, that didn't make any sense. Lufthansa 2032, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3, Sierra 8 Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra Lufthansa 2032.
American 716, taxi to the terminal via Delta. Lord have mercy. American 716, taxi to the terminal via Alpha 8, November.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 8 November American 716.
Tower, Speedbird 947 requesting push and start.
Hansa Line 23904, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
Hansa Line 1620, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right, line up and wait. Hansa Line 1620.
Speedbird 947, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Tower, Lufthansa 2421 with you, runway 8 left.
Lufthansa 2421, runway 8 left. Clear to land.
Ground, 8 right, pushback approved. Speedbird 947. Runway 8 left, cleared to land. Lufthansa 2421. Ground, Speedbird 947 ready to taxi.
Speedbird 947, runway 8 right, taxi via Charlie 4, Sierra 5. Sierra.
Runway 8 right, taxi via Charlie 4 Sierra 5 Sierra Speedbird 947.
Hansa Line 1620, wind is 66 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 66 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Hansa Line 1620.
United 106, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 3.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 3 United 106.
Hansa Line 2164, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right, line up and wait. Hansa Line 2164. Tower, Lufthansa 904 with you, runway 8 left.
Lufthansa 904, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left, cleared to land. Lufthansa 904.
Okay, so we got a steady flow of traffic going. Hansa Line 1620, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
.716 out of Philadelphia, and I want to say Houston, IAD. Hansa Line 2164, wind is 66 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 66 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Hansa Line 2164.
Do with this, guys. See if we can actually get them to respond. Lazaire 90731. Lazaire 90731. I'm still not going to. Let's see here.
Taxi to Terminal Lazaire 90731.
Whatever works. Hansa Line 2164, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
Tower, Hansa Line 2366 requesting push and start.
Hansa Line 2366, pushback approved. Expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Hansa Line 2366. Continue taxi Lazaire 90731.
Tower, Lufthansa 411 with you runway 8 left.
Lufthansa 411, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land.
Ooh,
Lufthansa
he's coming from
411.
JFK, so that is a
Ground, Hansa Line
A340.
2366 ready to taxi.
Hansa Line 2366, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3, Sierra 8, Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Hansa Line 2366.
Lufthansa 2032, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right line up and wait. Lufthansa 2032.
Lufthansa 2421, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4 Lufthansa 2421.
Slowing down a little
Tower,
bit.
Air Canada 846 with you runway 8 left.
Air Canada 846, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land. Air Canada 846. Tower, Lufthansa 2062 requesting push and start.
Lufthansa 2062, pushback approved. Expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Lufthansa 2062.
Tower, Hansa Line 2144 requesting push and start.
Hansa Line 2144, pushback approved. Expect runway 8 right.
Ground,
Might
8
get a
right
little bit
pushback
more of a rush
approved.
here now.
Hansa Line 2144.
Tower, Lufthansa 333 with you runway 8 left.
Lufthansa 333, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land. Lufthansa 333.
Lufthansa 904, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4 Lufthansa 904.
Forgot to send him the long way as well. Lufthansa 2032, wind is 67 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 6-7 at 3 knots, runway 8 right cleared for takeoff, Lufthansa 2032.
Speedbird 947, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right, line up and wait. Speedbird 947. Ground, Hansa Line 2144 ready to taxi.
Hansa Line 2144, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3, Sierra 8, Sierra.
Runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra, Hansa Line 2144.
Lufthansa 2062, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Lufthansa 2062.
Lufthansa 904, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4, Delta 6.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4 Delta 6 Lufthansa 904.
We're going to try that different. Lufthansa 904, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4, Delta 6, Oscar 3. There we
Taxi
go.
to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4 Delta 6 Oscar 3 Lufthansa 904. Tower, Dolomodi 2382 requesting push and start.
Tower, Lufthansa 2647 with you, runway 8 left.
Dolomodi 2382, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Dolomodi
Lufthansa
2382.
2032, contact departure.
Ground, Lufthansa 2062 ready to taxi.
Lufthansa 2062, runway 8 right, taxi via Sierra 8, Sierra.
Roger, good morning. Runway 8 right taxi via Sierra 8 Sierra Lufthansa 2062.
Lufthansa 2647, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land, Lufthansa 2647.
Speedbird 947, wind is 76 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 76 at 3 knots, runway 8 right cleared for takeoff, Speedbird 947.
Ground, Dolomodi 2382 ready to taxi.
Dolomodi 2382, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3, Sierra 8, Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra Dolomodi 2382.
Oh yeah, look at all the arrivals now.
Tower, Hansa Line 2311 with you, runway 8 left.
Hansa Line 2311, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land, Hansa Line 2311.
Speedbird 947, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
British Airways. It's cool to see most of the airlines, for Lufthansa anyway, having the new livery they just put out. All the heavies still have the older one. Lufthansa 411, taxi to terminal via Alpha 8, November 4.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 8 November 4 Lufthansa 411.
And I wish they'd put the heavy tag on there as well. Like, for instance, 411 would be Lufthansa 411 heavy. It'd add a little bit more realism to it. Hansa Line 2366, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right, line up and wait, Hansa Line 2366.
We got a Airbus A330 from Toronto.
Tower, Dolomodi 8200 requesting push and start.
Just a second, I'll get you back.
Tower, Hansa Line 2122 requesting push and start.
Air Canada 846, taxi to terminal via Alpha 8, November 3.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 8 November 3 Air Canada 846.
Dolomodi 8200, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Tower, Emirates 53 with you runway 8 left. Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Dolomodi 8200.
Emirates 53, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land Emirates 53.
Triple seven. I was hoping for a 380. Lufthansa 333, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha
Got to
5
give him the
November 4
runaround too.
Lufthansa 333. Ground, Dolomodi 8200 ready to taxi.
Dolomodi 8200, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra Dolomodi 8200.
Hansa Line 2366, wind is 68 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 68 at 3 knots, runway 8 right cleared for takeoff. Hansa Line 2366.
Hansa Line 2122, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Hansa Line 2122.
Alright, we're going to be clear right. Hansa Line 2144, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right line up and wait. Hansa Line 2144.
Lufthansa 2647, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4 Lufthansa 2647.
Lufthansa 333, taxi to terminal via November 4 Delta 6.
Taxi to terminal via November 4 Delta 6 Lufthansa 333. Ground, Hansa Line 2122 ready to taxi.
Hansa Line 2122, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra Hansa Line 2122.
Hansa Line 2366, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
Hansa Line 2144, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right line up and wait. Hansa Line 2144.
I think I told him already, but just to do it again, be safe. That's the new Air Canada livery too, or newer. Over to the other terminal. Hansa Line 2311, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4, Delta 6.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4 Delta 6 Hansa Line 2311.
Hansa Line 2144, wind is 68 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 68 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff Hansa Line 2144.
Lufthansa 2062, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right, line up and wait. Lufthansa 2062.
Emirates 777. Want to say from Dubai. Hansa Line 2144, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
Emirates 53, taxi to terminal via Alpha 8, November 1.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 8 November 1 Emirates 53.
Lufthansa 2062, wind is 69er at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 69er at 3 knots, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Lufthansa 2062.
Dolomodi 2382, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Tower, Austrian 112 requesting push and start. Runway 8 right, line up and wait. Dolomodi 2382.
Push that Austrian out as soon as that Hansa Line comes through. We have none on arrival, which is strange. Lufthansa 2062, contact departure.
Roger, good morning. Tower, Lufthansa 2025 with you, runway 8 left.
Lufthansa 2025, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left, cleared to land. Lufthansa 2025.
Dolomodi 2382, wind is 69er at 3 knots, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff.
Wind is 69er at 3 knots, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Dolomodi 2382.
Okay, get this Austrian out of here. Austrian 112, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right, pushback approved. Austrian 112.
Emirates is probably one of my favorite liveries out of all of them. Although I do like the the newer American. Dolomodi 8200, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right, line up and wait. Dolomodi 8200.
Dolomodi 2382, contact departure.
Roger, good morning. Tower, Lufthansa 209er 2 requesting push and start.
Lufthansa 209er 2, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Lufthansa 209er 2. Ground, Austrian 112 ready to taxi.
Austrian 112, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3, Sierra 8 Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra Austrian 112.
Go ahead and speed it up just a little bit.
Tower, Lufthansa 2055 with you runway 8 left.
Lufthansa 2055, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land Lufthansa 2055. Ground, Lufthansa 209er 2 ready to taxi.
Lufthansa 209er 2, runway 8 right, taxi via Sierra 8 Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Sierra 8 Sierra Lufthansa 209er 2.
Nope. Dolomoti 8200, wind is 69er at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 69er at 3 knots runway 8 right cleared for takeoff Dolomoti 8200.
Hansa line 2122, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right line up and wait Hansa line 2122.
There's a good look at that Emirates 777. Dolomoti 8200, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
Hansa line 2122, wind is 70 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 70 at 3 knots runway 8 right cleared for takeoff Hansa line 2122. Tower, Air France 1422 with you runway 8 left.
Air France 1422, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land Air France 1422.
That's our first Air France. Lufthansa 2025, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November 4 Lufthansa 2025. Tower, Lufthansa 1854 requesting push and start.
Lufthansa 1854, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Lufthansa 1854.
Tower, Hansa line 19er84 requesting push and start.
Hansa line 2122, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
Get that Hansa line out of here as soon as we get that Lufthansa in. If he ever decides to push back, that is. There you go, push back.
Ground, Lufthansa 1854 ready to taxi.
Lufthansa 1854, runway 8 right, taxi via Sierra 8 Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Sierra 8 Sierra Lufthansa 1854.
Tower, Lufthansa 2006 requesting push and start.
Lufthansa 2006, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Lufthansa 2006. Tower, Delta 130 with you runway 8 left.
Delta 130, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land Delta 130.
767 out of Atlanta, which will probably be the next episode. Be our second round of Atlanta. Always a hectic airport no matter what time of day you control. Hansa line 1984, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Hansa line
Lufthansa
1984.
2055, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, November 4.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 November
Go
4
figure, he'd
Lufthansa
go right there.
2055.
So I'm gonna need you to push back like right now. Austrian 112, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right line up and wait Austrian 112.
Ground, Lufthansa 2006 ready to taxi.
Lufthansa 2006, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3, Sierra 8 Sierra.
Tower, Hansa line 2284 requesting push and start.
Yeah, we'll get you out of here
Runway
as
8
soon
right
as
taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8
2006
Sierra
comes
Lufthansa
by.
2006. Tower, Lufthansa 1800 requesting push and start.
Yeah, we'll get you out after 1984.
Ground, Hansa line 1984 ready to taxi.
Hansa line 1984, runway 8 right, taxi via Sierra 8 Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Sierra 8 Sierra Hansa line 1984.
This is our Air France Airbus A319. Hansa line 2284, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Hansa line 2284. Tower, Lufthansa 429er with you runway 8 left.
Lufthansa 429er, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land Lufthansa 429er.
Oh, he's coming from my home airport, Charlotte Douglas. Lufthansa 1800, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Lufthansa 1800.
Hansa line 1984, hold position.
Hold position Hansa line 1984.
Just to give him a little bit of clearance.
Ground, Hansa line 2284 ready to taxi.
Hansa line 2284, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3, Sierra 8 Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra Hansa line 2284.
Hansa line 1984, continue taxi.
Continue taxi Hansa line 1984.
Air France 1422, taxi to terminal via Alpha 5, Alpha 9er. November, November 2.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 5 Alpha 9 or November 2 Air France 1422.
Austrian 112, wind is 7-1 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 7-1 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Austrian 112.
Lufthansa 20902, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right, line up and wait. Lufthansa 20902.
Tower, Lufthansa 905 requesting push and start.
Lufthansa 905, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Lufthansa 905. Ground, Lufthansa 1800 ready to taxi.
Lufthansa 1800, runway 8 right, taxi via Sierra 8 Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Sierra 8 Sierra Lufthansa 1800.
Tower, pull out 351 with you, runway 8 left.
Pull out 351, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left, cleared to land. Pull out 351.
Austrian 112, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
Tower, Lufthansa 1824 requesting push and start. Ground, Lufthansa 905 ready to taxi.
Lufthansa 905, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3, Sierra 8 Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra Lufthansa 905.
Lufthansa 20902, wind is 7-1 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 7-1 at 3 knots, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Lufthansa 20902.
Delta 130, taxi to terminal via Alpha 8, November 2.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 8 November 2 Delta 130.
I think we're going to go November 1 on that one. Delta 130, taxi to terminal via Alpha 8, November 1.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 8 November 1 Delta 130.
Tower, Lufthansa 2462 requesting push and start.
Lufthansa 2462, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Lufthansa 2462.
Lufthansa 1824, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Lufthansa 1824.
Lufthansa 1854, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right, line up and wait. Lufthansa 1854.
Lufthansa 20902, contact departure.
Roger, good morning.
Okay, heavy on departures right now.
Ground, Lufthansa 1824 ready to taxi.
Lufthansa 1824, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3, Sierra 8 Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra Lufthansa 1824.
Tower, Lufthansa 2452 requesting push and start. Ground, Lufthansa 2462 ready to taxi.
Lufthansa 2462, runway 8 right, taxi via Sierra 8 Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Sierra 8 Sierra Lufthansa 2462.
Lufthansa 2452, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Ground, 8 right pushback approved. Lufthansa 2452.
Lufthansa 1854, wind is 71 at 2 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 71 at 2 knots runway 8 right cleared for takeoff Lufthansa 1854.
Lufthansa 2462, hold position.
Hold position Lufthansa 2462.
Lufthansa 2462, continue taxi.
Continue taxi Lufthansa 2462.
Lufthansa 429er, taxi to terminal via Alpha 8, November 4.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha 8 November 4 Lufthansa 429er.
Lufthansa 2006, runway 8 right, line up and wait.
Runway 8 right line up and wait Lufthansa 2006.
Lufthansa 1854, contact departure.
Roger, good morning. Ground, Lufthansa 2452 ready to taxi.
Lufthansa 2452, runway 8 right, taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra.
Runway 8 right taxi via Delta 3 Sierra 8 Sierra Lufthansa 2452.
Tower, Aeroflow 2320 with you runway 8 left.
Aerofloat 2320, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Say again.
Oops. Aerofloat 2320, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Runway 8 left cleared to land Aeroflow 2320.
Okay, I think this 2006 right here is going to be our last movement for today. Lufthansa 2006, runway.
Negative.
Lufthansa 2006, wind is 72 at 2 knots, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
Wind is 72 at 2 knots, runway 8 right cleared for takeoff Lufthansa 2006.
And off he goes. Lufthansa 2006, contact departure. Good day.
Roger, good morning.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for this hour of Munich International Airport. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. And if you did, please like and subscribe. It'll only make the channel bigger and better. As well as check out my other videos. We have 7 videos, I believe, so far. Just getting started. The amount of videos that can be put out with this game is unreal. And more content they create, more content we can create. If you guys did like, again, please like and subscribe. Make the channel better, make the community bigger, and know when my videos get put out. I try to put out videos every day or every other day, depending on my work schedule, which is kind of hectic at this point, given our shortage crisis. So, again, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day.